Right now, we're bringing in Chad Wolf, acting DHS Secretary, finally got nominated for that job full time. Mr. Secretary, how are you helping Louisiana and Texas from what you've seen?
Well, absolutely. So it's a really devastating storm. We saw it come across inland as a Category 4. It's now being downgraded to a Category 2, but I will say we're not out of the woods yet. We see most concerned about is that flash flooding, the wind gust, and the power outages as that storm continues to move north into Louisiana. So what FEMA is doing is obviously pre-positioned supplies. We have pre-positioned teams not only throughout Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, to make sure that we're able to respond as the sun rises today. The next 48 hours are really going to be critical from a life safety standpoint. So we have Coast Guard assets, we have CBP, Customs and Border Patrol assets, some of which are behind me today, ready to respond along with DoD assets. So as the sun comes up, we're going to be in a life safety, life security standpoint, search and rescue, and doing those assessments on the ground.
All right. Let's switch gears to something that we have heard for the last 3 days, Mr. Wolf, about law and order at the RNC. The President of the United States has made it very clear that he's ready to deploy the National Guard to Kenosha, Wisconsin, where that man was shot in the back by police, as an investigation has been launched by the DOJ. Also, we understand apparently the governor of Minnesota asked for the National Guard to be deployed in the Minneapolis area after trouble there. What's your message to folks who are looking in, watching what's happening in America's cities about what's next?
Well, I think the president's been very clear from the onset, which is we need to address this violent activity. So again, peaceful protesting, First Amendment rights, I think everyone is very much in support of that. When it crosses the line into violence, though, the president's been very clear in that state and local authorities need to do their job. And when they can't, then if they want to call the federal government, the president's willing to send in assets, as we've done in Wisconsin. We'll continue to do that to other parts of the city as well. I would say this stands in contrast to, again, what we continue to see in Portland over 3 months. We saw violence again last night, and the governor refusing to call in those National Guards. So we hope that she does that, calls on the federal government to help, and then we'll go from there.
I know the president has nominated you for DHS Secretary. What happens next?
Well, it's certainly an honor to be nominated by the president. For the past 8 or 9 months, I have been leading the Department of Homeland Security in an acting capacity. It's certainly been an honor of a lifetime to do that, to support the men and women of DHS. That nomination will go to the Senate, and then there'll be a process that kicks off to do that. And you know, with the help of the United States Congress and the Senate, I hope to be confirmed and continue to lead the men and women of DHS, doing our mission every day. Obviously, responding to a hurricane, we have election security. I'm here in El Paso talking about border security as well. So we have a diverse mission that we'll continue to do to protect the homeland.
Yeah, I know you got 300 miles of wall built. What do you say, Mr. Secretary, when people say law and order, it's on the president's watch, it's his responsibility? What do you tell people?
Well, first and foremost, law and order in any city and any locality starts with local officials and local law enforcement, then state officials and state law enforcement. The federal resource has always been a backup. The president has been very clear. As soon as you need help, you request it from the federal government, and we will be there. And that's what you see in Wisconsin. That's what you see in other areas of the country. And so the president's been very clear, making sure that state and local officials step up to patrol their cities, protect their communities, protect the residents in their communities. I think a lot of Americans are looking at their TVs today and saying, what is going on in these cities across the country, and why aren't local officials stepping up early on day one, on day two, and addressing this head on and making sure that we don't allow Kenosha to continue to occur night after night and have that violence. And unfortunately, what we've seen are deaths as well.
Well, we know that DHS, as you folks have your hands full today with the hurricane. We thank you very much for joining us for about 5 minutes this morning, Mr. Wolf.